From 2022 to 2024, Jayson Tatum built one of the strangest reputations in the NBA. On paper, he looks like a superstar. He reached the Eastern Conference Finals multiple times and won a championship in 2024, made all NBA first teams, and even got the cover of NBA 2K and Sports Illustrated. Sounds like a player everybody should respect, right? But here's the twist. During the exact same time, fans and media kept calling him overrated, corny, and inconsistent. How can a player win so much, put up big numbers, and still get hated on? Why do people love to clown him more than they celebrate him? And why does the criticism get louder even after he wins? That's what we're going to break down today. If you love basketball stories like this, make sure you subscribe to GOAT Report and hit the like button. It really helps us keep bringing you deep dives like this one. Media trash talk, a superstar under fire. For years, the media has picked apart almost everything Jayson Tatum does. In the 2022 finals, people laughed at him for disappearing against the Warriors. Then in the 2023 playoffs, after his Game 7 collapse against Miami, fans started asking if Boston could ever win with him as their #1 guy. Even when he finally won a championship in 2024, the criticism didn't stop. Some people said Jaylen Brown was the real star. Others claimed Drew Holiday or even Derek White stepped up more in the big moments. Instead of praising Tatum, people turned his celebrations into memes. They called him corny for shouting Kevin Garnett's famous "anything is possible," or copying Steph Curry's "what are they gonna say now?" The biggest shots came when he honored Kobe Bryant. Before Game 7 against Miami, Tatum texted Kobe's old phone saying, "I got you." Some fans found it touching, but many called it forced. They mocked him for still texting Kobe years after his passing. For most players, winning a championship silences the doubters. But for Jayson Tatum, it almost felt like it made the hate even louder. Steve Kerr and the Olympic snub. The biggest public disrespect came in the summer of 2024. Just 2 months after winning his first NBA title, Jayson Tatum joined Team USA for the Olympics. Many fans expected him to be one of the leaders, maybe even the go-to scorer. But instead of being trusted, head coach Steve Kerr left him on the bench. In the first game, Tatum barely touched the floor. Then, in the semifinals against Serbia, the most important game of the whole tournament, Kerr didn't play him for even a single second. Think about that. A reigning NBA champion, a 3-time first-team All-NBA player, stuck on the bench like he didn't matter. The basketball world went crazy. Some people said Kerr made a huge mistake. Others believed Tatum didn't deserve minutes over guys like Anthony Edwards. But either way, it showed one thing clearly. Even at his peak, Tatum's value still divides fans everywhere. The numbers don't lie. Tatum is elite. Here's the truth. If you really look at Jayson Tatum's resume, he's already one of the greatest young players the NBA has ever seen. He has scored more playoff points since his debut in 2017 than anyone else who entered the league after that year. Over 9,400 points before age 25 and passing Kobe Bryant for most playoff points before 27. These are plausible and widely reported, the 7th most in NBA history. And in 2024, he passed his idol Kobe Bryant for the most playoff points before age 27. During Boston's 2024 championship run, Tatum did something only 6 players in history have done. He led his team in points, rebounds, and assists for the entire playoffs. With him on the court, the Celtics' offense looked elite. Without him, it fell apart. And maybe his most underrated strength? He shows up. In an era of load management, Tatum almost never sits out. He's logged playoff minutes at a pace matched only by legends like Kobe Bryant and Tony Parker. So, with all this on his record, why do people still hate? The 5 main reasons people dislike Jayson Tatum. 1. Duke University connection. Before Jayson Tatum even played a game in the NBA, he was already connected to one of the most disliked college programs ever, Duke. For decades, Duke players have carried a villain label, no matter how good they were. During Tatum's 1 season there, most of the hate was aimed at his teammate Grayson Allen, who became famous for dirty plays and bad behavior on the court. But in sports, guilt by association is real. Even though Tatum wasn't the one causing trouble, he still carried some of that negative energy with him into the NBA. 2. The Boston Celtics factor. The Boston Celtics are the most decorated team in NBA history, with 18 championships. But that kind of success always creates enemies. Fans of other teams don't just hate the Celtics, they also hate Boston's fan base, and by default, they hate the players who wear the green jersey. That puts Jayson Tatum in a tough spot. If he had been drafted by a smaller market team like Phoenix or Denver, he'd probably be much more popular. Instead, he ended up as the face of a franchise that many people are rooting against, no matter how great he actually plays. 3. A boring personality. Jayson Tatum is not Anthony Edwards. He doesn't give funny sound bites, he doesn't roast reporters, and he doesn't talk trash on the court. Instead, his press conferences always sound calm, safe, and media-trained. His go-to line is, "Not too high, not too low." There's nothing wrong with that. Legends like Tim Duncan, Kawhi Leonard, and Derrick Rose were the same way. But in today's NBA, personality is a big part of a player's image. Since Tatum doesn't show much of it in public, many fans see him as flat, and some even label him boring. 4. The corny image. This is where things get personal. Jayson Tatum's tributes and celebrations often make people roll their eyes. He texted Kobe's old number before a big game. He posed like Kobe with the Eastern Conference trophy. He yelled Kevin Garnett's famous, "Anything is possible." He copied Steph Curry's, "What are they gonna say now?" He even quoted Kanye at the championship parade and tattooed the finals trophy on his back. For Tatum, these are signs of respect. But for many fans, they feel forced, like imitations instead of real emotion. People say they want to see Tatum be himself, not copy others. 5. Inconsistent play. The biggest reason fans and media criticize Jayson Tatum is inconsistency. Some nights, he looks like the best player in the world. Other nights, he disappears almost completely. This started early in his career. In the 2018 playoffs, as a rookie, he dunked on LeBron James in the Eastern Conference Finals. That single moment made fans expect him to be the next superstar to take LeBron's throne. But Tatum didn't dominate every game. He sometimes fell into stretches of inefficient shooting, relying too much on tough fadeaway jumpers instead of driving to the basket or finding open teammates. Even Marcus Smart said after the 2022 finals that Tatum and Jaylen Brown don't want to pass the ball. When his shot is falling, he can explode for 51 points, like he did against Philadelphia in 2023. When it isn't, he can look almost invisible, running around without making much impact. That's the Tatum cycle. Moments of brilliance mixed with frustrating stretches, keeping fans divided. The 2024 breakthrough, a smarter superstar. The good news is that Jayson Tatum has grown a lot. In 2024, during Boston's championship run, he showed the world real improvement in his game. Instead of always forcing tough shots, he trusted his teammates more. He became a better playmaker, drawing double teams and creating open looks for others. In fact, the Celtics scored 4 more points per game off his passes than off anyone else's. That's how much he lifted the offense. His rebounding also got stronger, and his defense turned into one of his biggest strengths. Tatum was switching onto guards, battling with centers, and never taking a playoff. Even in games where his shot wasn't falling, his presence made Boston better. The numbers proved it. He finished the 2024 playoffs with the best plus-minus of any player in the league. That showed his value wasn't only about scoring, it was about doing everything to win. Expectations versus reality. Here's the real issue with Jayson Tatum: expectations. He came into the league so good, so early, that fans expected him to instantly turn into the next LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, or Kevin Durant. But the truth is, he's still only 26 years old. At that same age, even those legends were still figuring things out and hadn't fully reached their primes. Right now, Tatum is without question a top 10 player in the NBA, and on some nights you could argue he's top 5. But the problem is, people want perfection from him every single game. They want him to dominate every quarter, every possession, every playoff run. So when he has an off night or when his shooting numbers dip, fans see it as failure instead of part of his growth. Tatum isn't done improving. he's still climbing. But the weight of expectations makes every stumble look bigger than it really is. Jayson Tatum's career is full of contradictions. He wins more than anyone his age. He scores more playoff points than the biggest stars, and he already has a championship. He works hard, he leads, and he shows up year after year. And still, people keep criticizing him. Is it because he went to Duke? Is it because he plays for Boston, a team everyone loves to hate? Or is it because his personality isn't flashy and his game sometimes looks hot one night and cold the next? The truth is, Tatum is already one of the great players of his generation. And if he ever finds that next level of consistency, the NBA might not have an answer for him. You may not want to admit it, but you are watching the rise of a legend. So what do you think? Will Tatum finally get the respect he deserves, or will the hate only grow stronger? If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to subscribe to G.O.A.T Report and hit the like button so we can keep bringing you more NBA deep dives.